Today's the day. We're finally going to be talking about my black and white Spider-Man suit. Let's get to it. All right, guys, I'm gonna put some pictures on the screen right now. I've been showing off this suit for months now. I'd probably say this suit is what kind of put me on the map in terms of prop making and cosplay, I guess. Today, we're gonna talk about what I did. And then I'm going to be gradually putting this on this armor stand that I made. By the time the video's over, it'll be right here, which will be pretty cool. It'll be nice to add to the background. It won't be right there, it'll be somewhere else, but it'll be up here in the filming area, the office, whatever you wanna call it. We're starting with the helmet. The helmet is 3 separate pieces. So this whole front, and then black, these eye pieces, I count as one piece. So these are glued on. They can be magneted on, but I just glued them on because I'm not gonna do anything. And then there's a solid back plate, and it's all painted in gloss black. The inside, I have some screen mesh that I hot glued in there, and then I have some foam on the top of my head and some elastic to band the two together under the foam. And they magnet shut just like that. Fits on my head just right. Some tips here. I went as small as I could without it being too uncomfortable to match the rest of my body. I think it did pretty good, but you're gonna have to, if you're wearing a full body suit, I've noticed that you're gonna wanna make the helmet as small as you comfortably can. If you have a big head like me, just to make it all kind of fit together and look like it's not a helmet. Because Spider-Man, it barely looks like a helmet, you know? Also, this video is gonna have a lot of glossing over maybe pretty in-depth things that I did to make this suit work. So if there's any specific thing I talk about that you want to see more in depth, please comment, let me know, and I will, I'll try to show you what I mean. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the shoes. I got one right here. These are nothing special, okay? I actually got a black shoe off of the TikTok shop. I'm not even joking, that's what I did. So I got this, and then I elasticed, okay. This shoe comes in the file, this file, so the back end and the front end, and I split them at this part and put some elastic and some foam. So that way, when I have the shoe on my foot, if this is already on, this can't come off. So it just kind of covers my shoe. I will say I hate wearing these. They just kind of don't feel right. If I just wore the black shoes, it would probably look fine. But this is what I did. I'll probably still wear it in the future, maybe modify it. If I ever do modify it though, I'll let you guys know what I end up doing. Next up, we're gonna talk about the back, the whole back. So the torso is split into a front half and the back half. I actually have a short, like either a reel if you're on Instagram or a short if you're on YouTube, talking about how it attaches and all that. Here is the back. And I love this. Every time I look at it, I think it looks great. So this whole piece right here was, I mean, you guys have probably seen my short on it. PCBWay printed the whole thing. They're not sponsoring this video, but it is a shout out. They've treated me very nicely. Friend of the channel, I've always wanted to say that. But so here's the backpack. So you got this white piece up here. All this was gloss black and then comes up to right here. But as you can see, when I turn it around, it gets pretty elaborate. So let me just kind of show you here. So around the sides and on what would be like my trap area, I have these buckles, a buckle system with elastic so it can stretch. So that way, whenever I have this on my back, I can just go ahead and show you really quick. All right, so I know the camera's kind of close, but for now, you're gonna get the point. So these will come down right to the chest plate, and then same thing around the sides. That's where these come. So that way they kind of hug my body so I can breathe and it moves. I'm not super compressed. When I breathe in, these will just stretch a little more, you know, like that. And it actually worked out fantastic. I wasn't sure how well it would work, but time tested, it worked great. So if you want a video on that, let me know. But yeah, so for now, that's the back plate. And I also have some foam in certain places just for comfort. And then also, I'll go ahead and talk about the shoulders really quick. These are Velcro on a nylon strip that I hot glued under my shoulder. So, or my trap rather. So my shoulder pieces, which I'll go ahead and get out, have a lot of padding on them, but then they have this Velcro strip. So basically, if you can tell, they would sit like this. If I have a picture, I'll put it up, but they would sit just like this. The Velcro would go right in the center, and then it would kind of flap up like this, and when I put it on, it would fall down, and then that would be the front, and that would be the back of the suit. And I think that worked really well. One of these has fallen off before. This is the only thing that's fell off. Just the hot glue kind of melted and just fell off. I just glued it back. It's been fine ever since. I'll go ahead and get out both shoulders so you can see them. With that explanation, there's nothing really special I need to say about the shoulders. So the arrows face towards the back. They kind of just sit like this. I put more foam on them so they would sit higher, which looks better with chest plate, I think, and it doesn't rub as much. So that's why I did all this foam. It looks kind of crazy, but it's just trial and error with that kind of thing. Just what's the most comfortable and what works the best is all that really matters. On to my favorite piece, the chest plate. Just love it. Here is the chest plate. As you can see, actually, I just noticed one of the elastic pieces came loose in traveling, but that's no big deal. You can always just put it back on. But here is the chest plate. It all held pretty well. There's a couple places, but really nothing that bad. And then let's go to the inside. So the inside of this, I have foam to go kind of on my collarbones and stuff. Here are the top clips from the backpack, and here are the center ones. They go to the side, so it wraps around almost like a tall belt. And then this ab piece, as you can see, right here kind of let loose, and so did right here. But honestly, I'll just glue those back, no big deal. And then in between the two, you can barely see it, but I have like some screen mesh. I think it added some really cool detail, but you honestly never really even see it, so it doesn't matter that much. So let's on to the biceps. So here are the biceps. These gave me the most trouble by far because these were at one point printed out of solid PLA, which if I would have done a little more testing, maybe made them a little bigger, would have been fine, but I had so much trouble bending my arms. So I just made them out of flexible PLA and then painted just the side on the outside. And these worked great. So how these attach is I would slide them up my arm like this, and then there is a little strap with a buckle, or sorry, a snap. There's a little strap with a snap on it, and the snap would go right on the bottom, if that'll focus, right on the bottom of the shoulder. So the shoulder would sit, the bicep would snap right there, just like that, and it would hold everything into place. And that worked great. Didn't need anything else. Yeah, the snaps. Snaps are great. I really recommend getting into the snap game if you haven't so far. Real quick, if you guys have any questions about more basic concepts on 3D printing or anything like that, I have more videos on my channel, 3D printing A to Z, sanding, painting, prepping, all that. Another question you may ask is, Chase, where'd you get this file? This is Johan 3D Print Master on Instagram. I can put a link down below. Awesome file. I modified it a little bit to fit me better, but that's pretty normal, I think. I think everyone kind of does that. You cut some pieces off, slice some things slightly different just to fit you better. But in all this, I scaled individually, anywhere from 5 to 10% bigger, to be honest with you. My head's gigantic. That's what I got. But anyways, moving on. I'm going to the forearms. These are the money maker of the suit, I think. Go ahead and move the camera back a little bit for these. So here are the forearms. These definitely caught some eyes. The only thing I will say about these, oh, and they got a little web shooter on them. I don't know if anyone's noticed that yet, but one thing about these you gotta know is walking around with these sticking off your arms, you're so much wider than you think. So bumping into stuff all the time, all the time. So there's actually nothing special about these. I just made them tight enough so they're kind of hard to get on. And then this bottom wrist plate, I have it elastic. I just kind of shove my hand in it. All right, so yeah, as you can see, forearms on, it's just tight on my arm and it just stays. In the actual file, there's also like a knuckle hand piece. I didn't use it because I didn't need it. I didn't have enough room and I like the way that this went. So I didn't really care, but I find it cool that I can just put it on anytime. But yeah, these are just elastic straps to give my wrist enough room to squeeze in. And then these are just glued on as well, the spikes are. I love it. I think they look awesome. I know I've done this like 3 or 4 times, but another quick note. There's a couple people that took pictures with me at Dragon Con, just got back. That's where I debuted my suit. I felt great. I feel like my suit looked really good, performed really well. If any of you have those pictures, send them my way. I'd love to put them on Instagram. I had a great time meeting everyone. Everyone was so generous who talked to me. It's my first Dragon Con. Thanks everybody. Had a great time. Can't wait to show you guys the pictures. Okay, next, I will move on to the legs. So this is gonna get crazy because these are all still together. Okay, I'm gonna have to take them apart to show you a little better, I think. Give me 1 second. Here's one of the thigh pieces. It's very big. So let's just kind of jump right into it. So on the regular file, for those of you who have seen this file, this thigh goes all the way around right here. This is like one piece. I was having a lot of trouble. I have big legs. I've been lifting for like 10 years. So my legs, like these would have to be so much bigger. I couldn't get them to, every time I bend my legs, they'd crack and not good. So what I ended up doing is, I will show you on the undersuit in a minute, but there's 2 snaps up here. These button snaps are amazing, and there's 2 down here. So what I would do is I would put this around my leg and then snap them basically onto my pants, and they would stay on the front. Plenty of room. I could even sit down, honestly. And then I just elastic the knee right on, and then on the bottom of the knee, let's see, right here, the bottom of the knee, there's a little clip, and I just clipped it into the shin piece. Real quick, let me show you the snaps on my undersuit. It'll make a little more sense, and then we'll move on to the shins. All right, also, just so you guys know, I actually have 2 undersuits. I have one that's a full zip up morph suit, you know, black head to toe. And then I have this, it's like a wrestling singlet, you know. I don't know if you guys know about wrestling or anything like that, but. So here is one of the legs. So as you can see, I have the opposite side of the snaps. Of the opposite side of the snaps that I had on the thigh piece you saw a minute ago. And so they just snapped right on. It's awesome. As you can see, I put this, I don't even know what it's called. It's like a flimsy plastic grate or mesh. So that way the bottom piece of the button doesn't rip all the way through the front, and it worked really well. That's great. If you guys want to see a more in-depth tutorial on that, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to show you. But so that's how I did those. It worked flawlessly. I was honestly really surprised by it. It was one of those last minute ideas. You're like, you know what, I gotta try it. And it worked good. So that's how those stayed on. The thighs would just snap right to my undersuit. Next up, here is the shin and calf piece. I don't even know where to start. So this also, so you can see there's a piece missing. This would be my ankle. So this is like the front. So if I was standing facing that way, this is how it would be on me. So this is where my ankle is. This is the outside right side. So in the full file, once again, this whole piece right here and this little gap, this whole gap was one piece. Or it was 2 pieces, but it would all snap together in an enclosed system, which looks great. But same thing with the legs. I couldn't get them to move right. It was fighting me bad. So I cut out this calf section, cut this out, and cut this ankle part out. And then I have, let's see if we can see in there. So I have elastics, there they are. You see that, holding these together. And then as soon as I slide this on my calf, I have another buckle. It just comes around my leg and snaps right in. Goes around my leg and snaps right into this buckle right here. So that's how it stayed on. And then this is where it clipped onto the knee, like I showed you earlier. And then it stayed on the whole time. It worked great. Honestly, you'd be surprised. You just gotta try stuff, especially with cosplay. I've realized when making a full suit like that, makers, all of them do it differently. There's a million different ways. Let's go into this next section. I'll say bonus tips. One thing I learned when traveling with your suits, you're gonna wanna bring stuff, everyone says it, you're gonna wanna bring glue, hot glue, regular glue, zip ties, foam, all that stuff, just little things, because stuff's gonna happen when you travel. And it does, and it's okay, because you can fix it, and it's fine. But here's the other quick tip for my homies out there, for all the dudes. You need one of these. This is like a ballet belt, I think they call it. And it just keeps everything nice and tight, and you don't look like you are, you know what I mean. Get one of these to go under everything. Do it under your morph suit, on top of your underwear. Works great. Everybody needs it. So remember that. All right, I'm going to put the suit on the mannequin thing. I actually just noticed there's one more thing I have to fix that happened during travel. It was one of the buckles on the bicep came off. I'll just glue it back down, no big deal. But I'm gonna put the rest of the suit up here, and then we'll get a look at it one more time. All right, so here's what it looks like with this bad boy all set up on the armor stand. As you can see, I still have to put the biceps back on, but I even put the legs on, which is crazy. Looks cooler on me. But I discovered both the biceps needed their latches put back on, their buttons to go under the shoulders, and then I'll have to put a cap on the arms so the forearms can stay on. But yeah, generally that's what it looks like, and I'm stoked. I'm happy to have it up in the office for the recording setup as well. You can't see that one right now. That has Venom on it. Venom, Moon Knight. Yeah. All right, guys. So I really appreciate you watching. Like I said, just got back from Dragon Con, showing off the suit for the first time. You know, I understand a lot of the new complications that I didn't know was going to happen until you just go ahead and wear it. That's another tip I'm thinking about. Now that I was at Dragon Con, you hear people say it all the time. When you make your suit, just wear it, wear it, wear it, wear it. You'll get to learn a lot more things about it that you don't like. So that's another good tip for you. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said before, I think once or twice, any other thing about this suit you need to know, you want to see more in depth, let me know. Maybe I'll make a short or a whole video on it, depending on how in depth it is or how many people want it. But for now, guys, that's all. And be looking for it. I have really cool new things in the works, including stuff to do with this suit. Very cool things. It'll be the first way to support the channel. But anyways, guys, thank you. Hope you have a great day. Remember to build your dreams, and I'll see you in the next one.